you ever write them up?
No, I never did.
I do. We're secretary list. Because, so we have the meeting minutes from July. Folks, take a look. And,
Yep, there's a correction there. The speaker thing isn't working, so I'm fine with that. Raise your report to the second sentence, the last word. You might want to pretty much.
wait, what was it? Okay.
And then, I think the last sentence is the last word.
Wait,
That immigration part.
you have to be more.
Which section?
So the Friends of Park Lake report.
Yes.
Provided the FOPL report. The Solstice Festival is canceled due to excessive. Oh.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
And then,
Wait, no. Say what
and then the very last word is just
Yeah, I got it. Okay, I will prepare those typos. It was not a Freudian slip.
It's really hard for a long time.
Yeah.
I don't see that.
Okay, so motion to approve
So moved.
as edited. It's
Let's see.
all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed. Okay. We have no public. We'll wait if Ray or Judy comes. So we have township report. We'll jump ahead a little. Anything relevant
No,
to the lake?
I missed the meeting this week, so.
Okay. So,
Well, it's relevant to have Grayson in the minutes that he was appointed.
oh, yeah.
Pretty relevant.
Finally, even.
Okay. Okay. Moving on, John has our honor level reports. It's kind of like the song Alice's Restaurant with full color pictures and glossy paintings on each side. And, you want to walk folks through it?
Where the kind of pentagon shape symbols are for this year. And it looks like it's as high as 2.5 inches above the slope plates of the lower control structure.
Let's see, the above there, just can't go up. That's correct.
Wow. And it is. So this is the highest the lake has been at this time of year in at least 10 years.
But it's finally probably going down now.
A little. A little.
The last data point on here was 2 weeks ago. So
Oh, so it probably is.
Yeah, I probably can mow my whole lawn now.
Yeah.
no,
It's-
yeah.
Our dock is pretty much still.
And on the reverse side is the climate report for this year.
So our temperature's been pretty much in the middle. But the precipitation, if you haven't seen these, the dark green above that line is the normal, so we are above normal by a bit, but it's just been consistent. We did have that one big rain. I don't know,
A couple big rains.
we had a couple, yeah.
6 inches in an hour or two.
Is that what you did? We had
I
3.5.
I got 6 in probably 5 hours. I was right where the strike went.
Oh, yeah. So good. Well, thanks, John.
And with the stuff, too.
Yeah, it's been a wet year. So, I did bring a note. Where did I put it? That's me. That's okay. One day, shoot. Did I? Yeah, there it is. I knew I had a note. So, kind of old business. last update I got on the Park Lake Trail, I'm trying to think how I got this update. I think I talked to, our superintendent, supervisor, Ryan, yeah. I'm trying to think, who did I talk to? But, so I talked to Ryan after our meeting in August, or we didn't meet in August, but when our meeting would have been. So there was like a number of kind of steps that the board wanted to do. So Ben Zeeb looked into the wood chip cost, and it'd be about, his estimate was about $2,000 to put down 2 inches. He said his view, a lot of places didn't need it, which is probably true, but just to budget conservatively. There were questions about easements, kind of there's some funny corners midway, kind of where some of the berm is. One of them is the Ide property, and there's already an easement in place, so yeah. Actually, no, I think I watched this video. This is what you had on the board, trustees meeting.
Yeah,
I watched
we
it.
wanted to make sure that, one of the things that came out of that is to make sure there's an agreement from the park there, that the access is, I mentioned, permanent. We don't start all this and they say, oh, that was only for a year. And I don't see why it wouldn't be a really good idea to have access agreed upon both ends.
Yeah, both ends. And there's
Possible.
so there's Ide property in the middle, and that's good. But then there was some video presentation that Ben gave, and I couldn't see it because it was the way the recording was going. You can't really see it. But as I understood it, that the culvert has actually no easement. And it's partly on Mr. Tierney's property, but there's some weirdness on it.
Access to it.
It's an access. There's something weird. I don't want to. It's irrelevant.
Ray knows more about that.
Well, Ray thought he did. I mean, this is where everybody has a different opinion, but this is what I think legal came down on. So then they looked into more about the eagle nesting issue, which our proposal kind of circumvented that. And there was like permits needed only during construction. The nesting season is September 1st, October to August. Oh, did it?
Fell down. I've heard it from 3 or 4 people.
Oh, I didn't hear
So
that.
it's no longer up there, so I don't know what does that. Yeah, they knocked it, so I don't know what that means,
So that would change, again,
unless they rebuild.
yeah.
But they were not gonna do that until
They won't start for a bit.
we started, before they started, we would be.
So again, there's a potential, if they were doing construction, they do it outside the nesting period. Not be, but again, actually, when they spoke with Fish and Wildlife, so it's like foot traffic's more disrupted, A lot of birds, they see traffic all day long, they don't care, but a person on foot, we've all seen it with deer. You drive up to a deer, you can pet it, you step out, looking like I do, and they run like hell. So the final thing was the kind of, what we had proposed was accessing that trail via Oak Island. And Ryan, he is working as the lead, he's still trying to figure out who to contact, so apparently he couldn't directly find out who's kind of the head manager of that.
The owner's in another city, like Detroit.
Yeah, so anyways, I haven't heard any follow-up, so, again, at this point here, it's all moved, but it prompts me, I'll touch base with Ryan again to see if he found out, because the Board of Trustees wants to, have a meeting with the owners to explore that possibility. They said they would invite me, so I will try to hold them accountable to that. So that's where we're at with the trail. Again, it's again, if things work the way we had put in a proposal, it really isn't expensive. It's minimal expense. So we will see where it all goes. So that's the update. Any questions? So I'll just say Dan provided an update. Kind of new business, just the lake monitoring season has come to a close, or do we have one more second, or?
No, I took the last one, couple of days ago.
All
As
right.
a matter of fact, I brought the copies if anybody wants them.
Yeah, I thought that's what
Okay, we'll look at
we
it.
kind of let folks know what's up.
This is for the year, Big Maverick, if you want to look at it, pass them around.
Yeah.
And,
So you want to say something about that, or?
it was pretty exciting, yeah, had a great time.
More people should come out and do it.
One of our group lost an anchor, and the other group, one of their group owned it, and that's kind of green.
Crucial to maintain. I heard all something on it. I got pie.
Yeah, fun stuff going on in the lake, but, some guy in a small buggy, is that what you call that thing?
Mud boat.
Mud boat, yeah. Been driving people crazy in my neighborhood.
I wanted to just ask, what do you have to do?
Why? I think almost certainly he does that because he can.
Well, whether he's scouting for duck hunting or not.
No, it's not scouting. Like, one evening I saw him on the far side of the lake, and the sun was not quite down yet.
Oh, yeah.
And, the point of what those things can do,
Oh,
the rooster tail that he put out was huge, and in a couple different spots I could see that it was a black rooster tail.
yeah.
So he wasn't in the water anymore, he was in the
No,
water.
those are, they call them mud fogger motors. So
Yeah.
Oh,
the,
wow.
the brief, a lot of people use them duck hunting or in, like down in Florida where it's really shallow and the prop just goes away. So those, they're air cooled, so they don't have to take in water. And it's a direct drive prop on a long, usually on a long shaft.
What goes along with air cooled is they are noisy.
Where does he get in and out? Well, you launch off. It's a regular boat. The motor's on the back. And I've only driven them once, but like,
Is it necessary to stand up when you drive?
pretty much because they're a bitch to handle. So how it works.
Is that legal?
It's smart, but what they do is like, there's the new models, but most of them, they only go forward, and they have one speed, full tilt. So the prop's just going, right? And to slow down, you push down on a lever here, and that pulls your prop out of the water. And then to go, you lower it in, and if it's right at the surface, it throws a rooster tail about as high as
Those are direct drive, aren't they?
Yeah, the direct drive, they're powerful, the big.
I wonder if that's the thing that's in stream.
Yes.
At like sunset.
Yes.
I've seen it.
He's been out a number of times.
There's no sense that. If he goes too close to my boat really rocks.
Yeah.
Pick up right away.
Yeah, he really shouldn't be that close running it back full throttle by houses,
I think he hit the sandbar in front of my house with his prop.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't hurt the problem.
I wouldn't think it would.
Those really.
They have some kind of a guard on it.
But people use them for duck hunting because you can get into mud flats. You know, if you go online, like, literally, they will go on wet
I
grass.
think an airboat would be easier. And safer.
No,
Those are way noisier.
and they're way more expensive.
Yeah.
You know. So anyways,
And I threw rocks at the last one.
I mean, the company that does lake treatment has an airboat because for that
Go
money,
anywhere.
they can go anywhere and they're spraying or
Yeah.
get in. But this is again for hunting, so, they're
But the concerning thing about a couple of neighbors is that over on the extreme south end of the lake, there's been about between 25 and 40 great egrets
yeah.
roosting in the evening. And this guy doesn't really care where he drives this thing.
Yeah, that's going to be harassed for a while. And those are protected wild.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, we might, that might be.
Does he live on the lake or is he a visitor?
I have doubt it very seriously.
Yeah, no, I, so anyways, yeah, I just,
No wake zone on the lake would be cool. That is
yeah, it would, but it would obviate other people fishing and this and that. I mean,
If you want to fill this hall up, then suggest that.
Oh, is that, there's a lot of those. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
and again, this is a one time, it's one,
Yeah.
just recently.
Shoot it.
Good suggestion. I also had a immature bald eagle roost in the neighbor's cottonwood and cut down and take a pretty good sized bluegill right at the
Oh, wow.
And I had the least spinner flew
Oh, cool.
across the front of my dot as I was getting out there one evening. And, oh, yeah, pretty nice picture of one of the egrets walking through my yard.
Oh.
I had a big sample that made it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't get, there were two. There were two born and they got to be about this big. And there was one. And now he's the same height as his
Oh, yeah,
parents.
they're,
Both amazing growth.
Osprey come back every year or two. Or is it?
they can reuse, I don't know where they're nesting, I don't think it's really on.
They hang out in the dead tree next to
Well, that's
the
just a
house,
great
and then
perch.
yeah, they hang out there for like a week and then fly away.
They go to Florida, but whether they come back
Each.
each year, I don't know, but I haven't seen where they nest.
I think their nest is somewhere over by Lake Lansing.
Yeah, so they're just, it's a great lake for osprey to fish.
But they're gonna fish bass. I've been watching them. They can fish bass.
Yeah, they like big prey.
Yeah.
They eat, I saw.
But I saw one on, I was on Saginaw Street, and I saw one fly by. And he was kind of heading towards Lake Lansing,
Yeah.
and it was not, time to build a nest or anything like that. He was carrying a stick. They asked me about that, and they said, yeah, Osprey's a funny bird. He says, if he goes out hunting and he can't catch a fish, he's got to bring something home. Sometimes he'll bring a stick home.
Mom will get made.
Exactly.
Yeah, this brings up, you said you're out fishing. Yeah, I don't believe.
Takes him home empty.
So, a couple things on this, we'll pass this along. Just, again, y'all may not have had. So, I want to go back, like, the least bitter that Don mentioned is actually a state-listed threatened species. And we had a nest on the lake, bring off young. I've photographed them, so that's pretty cool. That's a special note. The water monitoring, so Don's done phosphorus testing, and phosphorus is the main nutrient that drives plants in lakes. In terrestrial systems, it's more nitrogen that's limited. I've been taking chlorophyll samples, which measure the amount of algae in the lake. And finally, what's going around, and the other ones like required chemical testing, and you kind of got to evaluate that. What's going around in the second disc is kind of the little image up in the corner here. It's a metal disc about that big, black and white. When you lower it down until you can't see it. So it's a way of saying how clear the water is. And in our report, we've got a graph. This year, it was actually, wow, not as clear as it had been typically all summer. And then the last 2 weeks, it's like the clearest it's ever been.
14 feet, 12 feet.
Is it just because like they finally stopped raining all the time?
Well, I think the rain, but the other part that we don't have like the report. The team I work with at MSU has been doing the aquatic plants, and those have exploded. And I think they sucked up all the nutrients the algae would have, and all the sediment, and the rain put sediment in.
My pond's doing that too. I got control stuff.
It's very creepy.
And I did a little bit of stuff.
Yeah, but it's just the time of year. So anyways,
It's huge.
yeah, and for context, most of the guidance is in meters, so kind of low water clarity is less than 2 meters or 6 feet. So that's an indicator kind of overly nutrient-rich water. And then usually it's 4 to 5 meters. So we're in what's called mesotrophic, we're in the middle. Very clear water, I've been places where it goes down 35 feet. That's kind of worrisome on the other side. It was in New Hampshire where it was acidified, no nutrients.
North Huron.
Yeah, and the Great Lakes can be like that.
Shipwrecks at 100 feet. They're just clearly up.
Big flame, fish in 25 feet of water and watch fish come back.
So again, that's just the context. So for a lake in this part of the state, we've got pretty good water clarity actually. So that's, but we've got a ton of plants. So that, like I said, we don't have a report. The team I work with is going to present at Friends of Park Lake in October. I'm not able to make it that night, so they're going to report just anecdotally going out the water, the Eurasian milfoil is just taken off.
It's more dramatic this year
Oh,
than I've ever
not
seen.
seen
I've
it.
been here a long time.
You know, it has not, it seems, it is, a lot of the other plants that were,
Is that relatively new?
no, it's been for long as I've been coming in.
I was pretty well, I am pretty well inundated with, the original file right now.
Yeah.
But my dog.
Yeah.
When he came and treated for that, my dog, they pretty well took care of it. But it didn't take very long, it started coming right back.
Yeah, I had it.
Then he
Like
come back
that.
again.
Like dead chunks floated up to my shore, and then they came back to life, and now my whole shoreline is just like it was almost getting killed, like
That's why I
the foliage part, but the stem itself was like
There's
Some
some
of
of
them
that.
stay alive.
Yeah, the roots can, they have what are called turions, they have little buds. I don't know why it just took off this year. It's usually, once it gets suppressed, it kind of gets tamped down, at least it's
What they use to kill yours. Roundup type stuff or?
Well, it's late spring, late spring, that's when they came through and treated, but,
What they treat with though?
do you know the chemical?
what did he treat? I don't think he brought a copy of it.
Copper sulfate or Roundup or?
It's not copper sulfate, that's for algae.
Algae, right.
He usually doesn't use that. Roundup itself is what's called broad spectrum, it kills everything. So, in front of people's houses, he can use broad spectrum because you're cutting the lane, coating. For, lately, there's one chemical I don't remember, there's a new one called Procelicor. It's been pretty effective, but I don't know if he used that this year. We haven't really followed up details.
So you use it for a whole lake treatment, Procelicor, and it pretty much just works on,
So Procelicor is the one we've been using spot, like, 35 to 10 acres. It's Floridone is the one, there's one called Sonar is the trade name, Floridone. And Eagle rules is you have to treat the entire lake with it. I don't know why, but it's just the way they've done that.
Is that broad spectrum or?
Now, that's specific to milfoil.
Does it go to the bottom and kill them or stay on the
I think it's like
water?
it's water soluble.
Like some stuff is leaves and some is bottom, right?
Yeah. So anyways, the bottom line is the plants really got away from them this year. And again, the weather, and the silt, the rain, and just everything was, we'll blame it on that even though.
Could the fact that the lake never really froze last?
No, see,
Well,
that
that
made my
probably
problem.
helped because it was able to photosynthesize early. It got warm early, cooled off. I think I take water temperature, try every week. And I didn't, right after ice out because I don't usually have to do it in February. But we had a day, I want to say it was in March, the surface water near my dock, so it's in a protected area, it's over 60 degrees. Then it dropped back down, and then the temperature's been kind of normal-ish. Like John showed, the air temperature's been normal-ish. So,
How deep did the ice get?
I think the biggest I measured was 5 or 6 inches. I think. I recorded it. I try to get out once a week, and when it's safe.
Did it freeze all the way over?
Yeah. But it unfroze. And then we were talking.
It all
Yeah.
Said like all happened within like a week.
It was so.
Yeah, that one we had that cold.
What was it?
There was one cold.
February 26th was the day I was out of town, and it was frozen, came back, and it was totally gone. It'll be probably 26th. And then it skins and
My
thaws.
ground never was frozen enough to
No.
see trees or anything.
So anyways, that's an update on lake monitoring. So we have another successful lake monitoring year.
all the information was turned in yesterday, except for safety nets, which will be taken care of.
So, on that, just an FYI, so this is through the Cooperative Lake Monitoring Program, and like Don says, these sheets get turned in, and the chemistry they do, I don't know, they enter the data, or we can enter the data, but the important thing is their website has all that data available for anybody. It's available, it's a repository, so, if like we lose, as long as it gets entered in there, if we lose the sheets, it's not all that information is not So that's that. The other lake monitoring thing, and then I was gonna challenge Ray a little bit. He posted on Facebook, a day or two ago, and about the beach being closed due to E. coli contamination. And he's like, I guess Goosebusters isn't doing their job. It's like, there haven't been any geese on the beach. And I just want for our board to have kind of the facts from the Eagle website. He cited that. So the source they have is unknown, whereas in the past it was wildlife. So the point is we don't know what it was from. Again, personally, I think we had a lot of rain. We have any number of things. And if you want to see, I brought a printout. So we had a couple spikes in the kind of the daily measurements. So there was like, that's the daily, so that actually wasn't action level. So 8.6, they got a real high level of 600, which I think 350 is the action on a day. So, on August 6th, and I don't remember when we got that 3.5 inches of rain, but it seems like it was about that time. So the day went up, and then it went down, and then it came up, and then now the latest reading I had on the website was August 27th, and the daily was 74, which was fine. So it spiked way up, it came right back down, and if it was, I'm not blaming your ducks, but your ducks have been there the whole summer.
They've been there for years, but I still have them be going there.
Oh,
So I'm coordinating with my friends who live in Orchard.
But I personal opinion, I don't think they're the cause, because they're still pooping now, and there's not bacteria in the water.
Where do they collect the water from, like a lot of different
So they
spots?
do the right, center, and left of the beach. So they do 3 spots, they average it, and they do it every week. So,
One poop pile would really change it.
well, not really, again, because they're doing 3 spots, so. And it,
Not to mention, E. coli doesn't come from a bird. They have to eat E. coli. Geese bring it because they eat in like a cow pasture and then
Right.
somewhere else.
Right.
My ducks eat pure duck food.
Ah,
Whatever's already in the lake. So
yeah.
no, that, again, personal opinion, it's not the ducks, but perception. So, but again, I think I was going to critique it. It's not the geese, it's there weren't geese on the lake this summer. I mean, I'm trying to shoot them, and I've only gotten 2 this fall, which is not.
In my area.
Well, like, if you want some gooses dead, I can make them dead. I'm happy to do it. It tastes great. So anyways, but the other problem we hit with the closures is they have daily, the day's average, then they have a monthly average, a 30-day mean. So if it spikes high, it's like a running mean, so it can come back down, and it's still high because it was high 2 weeks ago. So that's why it's still closed. The daily is fine, but our 30-day average is still above the action.
Is the beach still closed? I mean,
They still have the sign
It is,
up there.
it's
Practical.
recommended not to swim, not closed, I heard.
I don't know how they,
they just have signs that say like
it's a contamination
Risk.
device,
Swimming risk.
pretty much. So, in the past they closed it, so. Although they have the same, it was a contamination advisory, but we say they closed it, so.
so since since it's not geese this year or whatever,
Yeah.
is it likely across the lake instead of just at the beach? Because often we think it's just at the beach.
Yeah, and that's where unfortunately they don't test more broad.
Right,
Whereas
what's your guess?
my guess is, I think something's washing near the beach, because again, it doesn't have any buffer strip, it doesn't have the plants, it doesn't have all that. And we had crazy rains, and again, where it's coming from, I'm not sure, I don't know if it's
I
other.
know from past experience that the hilltop area,
Yeah.
when it rains hard, comes down the driveway,
Right now.
comes right down to the drain in front of the creek,
Yeah.
and right straight into the lake.
Yeah. And they were doing a lot of construction, and that should release E. coli, but who knows what and why. The year, it was 2021 when it was closed, we did have them test around, and it was localized at the
Right,
beach.
I remember that.
That's where the geese were being hand-fed at the beach, and that's why on the source, they kind of
Right.
identify it as wildlife.
That was a cat sitting on the fence.
So anyways, just an update. Again, if you're interested, this is called Beach Guard. You log in and anybody can log in and download what's going on. And it's statewide, so if you want to go to Lake Michigan and you want to see if your favorite beach is open or what the E. coli levels are, if they test it, it's there. So, again, that's, it's worth some good information out there. So, I think that updates our new business. I'll just, again, Dan and Don provided, I'll provide a little more detail in our notes. The other kind of update, so we sent a memo collectively up to the township leadership for budget. I haven't heard anything back, but that, once it goes from us as a proposal, it gets integrated in the budget, and then the board of trustees talk about it.
Raise my comment.
Oh, okay. I was going to infer that.
You can't come in.
Oh, okay. Yep, okay. He texted me, but. Okay, so no public. We have our kind of annual cycle schedule. We had October off, so our next meeting's scheduled November 20th. I don't know if we have anything specific, that usually that we start just, kibitzing like today, but also we'll start thinking about our go from there. Hopefully folks have gotten some great photos of we've had some great sunsets this year. And then added taking photos.
And a lot of great sunsets.
We had a great moon
Yeah,
set.
this morning it was great, yeah, going out.
Yeah, the 2 mornings ago I went hunting. The moon was like this big and orange.
Yeah, right over going over the church when I was going this way this morning.
Yeah.
The evening was just fabulous, and I'm on a hill looking west
Okay.
at the trees, it was just,
Yeah, we did. I don't know if there's still fires in Canada or not.
Yeah, and last week I noticed it was always orange, and then someone had mentioned something about forest fires. And
it was a little bit
Remember-
grayish out, the weather.
Yeah, a couple of years ago we had spectacular, just about half of Canada was burned.
Yeah, last summer.
Last summer.
Here, I was like, man, how come the bill was oddly hard?
It was pretty nasty. Then we had that hot spell, it was the worst
Yeah.
pollution in central Michigan in the USA.
I went to New York the week after, like, the whole sky turned orange.
Yeah.
Oh, straight at the air, too.
Yeah, it was.
Because it was
It was horrible there.
Dan, I just realized that a couple minutes ago that you lost the bullet point for future meetings with the review of the action
I
items.
just put my toys away.
Yeah, and I see, because we have,
Yeah. Yeah, so our action item list, that's where the budget recommendations is at. So the quick review, the Phragmites, which is the tall grass lake that's real invasive and bad. There's some over in the dike area along the trail, and it's coordinating with the group that treats it's been kind of tough. They've had personnel changes, a lot of done. I haven't been there recently, so I don't have an update. But usually in the
It's
fall,
bad back there, and like, it's found its way next to my, I've been pulling it out all summer.
that tall reed.
Yeah, but I think it grows by rhizomes, because every time you pull one out,
Oh,
like,
it-
3 or 4
Yeah,
pops out.
that has to be like chemically
Yeah.
dealt with. Actually, this time of year it's perfect, so I'm going to say this very carefully. So as long as what you put on it, no, well, whatever you put on it, as long as it doesn't go in the water, you're
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay? So, spraying herbicide into the water requires a permit. Don't do that. But this is like if you spray
a permit you can't get.
well, you have an application.
Yeah, it's growing amongst landscaping, so I have to
So-
make sure it's very isolated.
Yeah, so they actually, the best way to do that is put on a rubber glove, put on a cotton glove, and then put Roundup
Yeah.
on the cotton
Yeah,
glove,
just
and you
swipe
just
it
swipe
across.
it. And that works for poison ivy too.
Yes.
It's a way to isolate your application. Right? So that's and that way you're not spraying it off in the water. So that's a legit way to go about it. So I need to check the coliform testing is our action, but we're relying on them. Lake monitoring, we just updated goose management. I think, again, they've been kicking the goose butts. You know. Some of it I don't think they're on the lake right now because of just local food options. But I did check nests early in the spring, and I didn't see any. I saw a couple babies, but they didn't really make it. The night nature trail, I updated budget. We sent in the boat ramp parking area renovation. I think that's waiting. I don't know. The board hasn't really talked about that lately, or
I wasn't there if they have.
I don't think they have.
I don't think they have, unless something happened this week.
So I might make a note to check with Ben if there's any, Ben, see if there's anything. I might put a bug in his ear that if there's any discussions, might we be involved?
Right.
We should be involved. And then,
It seems more positive attitude now than it was a year ago.
I think things are moving forward in terms of communication.
Yeah, playing a look, talking to the parking area and getting some ideas along and being able to do one step at a time, separated from the long-range 10-year plan, so that we can afford to do something,
Yeah.
hopefully.
So I think we're getting there. But yeah, thanks, Leon.
Yep.
I didn't notice it wasn't there.
Yeah, I knew it until I was going to close my sheet. That's all I'd open it and
Yeah, that's
what are we doing?
All right, so anything else for
Not for me.
So we are adjourned at 7:00.
Thank you.